So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're talking about the brand new album by Tremonti. The End Will Show Us How. And this is, I believe, it's his sixth album, and it's got 12 songs, and it's following his last album from, I think it was 2022, if I don't believe, or 2021, but I know I bought it on vinyl. And yeah, Tremonti, you may know him obviously first from Creed as their guitar player, and then the guitar player for Alter Bridge. But since I believe it was 2012, where he put out his first solo album as Tremonti, he's been able to explore like more harder music here. Like there's music here that probably he can't do with his other two bands, especially with Creed. And yeah, it's a great way for him to showcase his talent as a guitar player and also as a vocalist. Like I think he's very underrated as a vocalist. And was it last year that he did a Frank Sinatra record where he was doing songs, to raise funds for people with Down syndrome, which he is close to his heart because of his daughter. And he showed on that Frank Sinatra songs that the dude can sing. Because also, I think a lot of people underestimate him as a guitar player because he's a great guitar player that I think doesn't get much respect to what he does. And I think with Tremonti, he sounds like he's having more fun. This is a band that he has some great players to it. There was a time that even uh, uh, Mamo, like the Van Halen, Eddie's son was a bass player for him, but he's got a good people playing in the band. But obviously, the focus will always be Tremonti. So this album, does it reinvent the wheel in what he's done? Not necessarily. I think he's just playing to his strong suits. His last album was Marching in Time, and I think the this album is a great explanation, like a great like follow-up, sorry, explanation to what he did on that one. So this album, The End Will Show Us How. I don't think per se it's a concept record, but I think there's some running themes that are going through the record. So the record can be bleak at times, but also hopeful. So a lot of that, what he covers on this album is about, fighting inner demons and struggles and like facing like the end, but trying to be positive and maybe look at a way moving forward. So that those themes run a lot in some of the songs on this album. There was like four singles that he released: "The Mother, the Earth, and I," "One More Time," "Just Too Much," which is funny because those three songs actually opened the record. And the other song that they released was the title track, "The End Will Show Us How." So the four singles, I was really excited for the four singles because I thought they were all strong and like they were strong and they were catchy at the same time. The Mother, the Earth, and I is a great album opener. Like it's got some great guitar riffing, and I just love the chorus, like "The Mother, the Earth, and I." Like it's catchy, but without being like super syrupy. So yeah, that's a great song to start. One More Time starts more harder, like with some great drumming and that crunchy guitar, but without sacrificing melody. The other single that they put out, the Just Too Much, I like it because I think that one has a very like 90s feel to it. Again, a great chorus, and something that this album has is a lot of great guitar solos. For example, on a song like Just Too Much, there's a part where Tremonti just goes with a great, beautiful guitar solo, like very rocking, that really, he has some great solos to boot. The other song that has some great solos is Living Fear, which is more in the end. And that one is a more like harder edge type of song to it. But again, like he's got some of that 90s, like I felt the beginning of the song, The Bottom, sounded a little bit like 90s Creed, especially My Own Prison, the first album. But then it gets harder, and I love that one. And again, that one, the what he's saying is like you have to reach the bottom to like to pull out from your misery. So that's the constant theme. You have songs like tomorrow we will fail, I'll take my chances. Now that I made it. So you see the themes, it's like I made it, I haven't made it. So that's running all over. And then you have a song like It's Not Over, which is one of my favorite tracks on the record. That one, again, I think like has one of the best vocal performances by Tremonti on the record, and again some great guitar work. But his backing musicians are really doing a great job as well. The end will show us how is like the power ballad of the record, and it's saying like like at the end when we are at our worst, so it shows us who we truly are, and it gives us like strength to move on. Like the title, they ask like, could there be another life that calls to me? So he's like contemplating his mortality, like saying like, hey, what will happen when it's my last breath? But in a way that is hopeful. So yeah, again, like I like the themes are running constantly throughout this record, and yeah, it's just great. And the album closer, All the Wicked Things, is a 6-minute opus that bring all the elements that he does to this album in a great way. So yeah, like I think like Tremonti, yeah, he's not reinventing the wheel, but also like when you think of Tremonti, like would you imagine if his name was Mark Smith? That wouldn't have that ring to it. Like here you come, Smith. No, but Tremonti, like yeah, Tremonti. That is a kick-ass last name, and I've been a fan since his first album, and something I can say is that I've seen the evolution. He's become a better singer, a better songwriter, and I think he seems more comfortable now, like being a vocalist. Like you could tell in his first album that like he was experimenting, but you could know that he wasn't like super comfortable yet with his own voice. And come on, he comes from a band with two distinctive singers. You have Scott Stapp in Creed, which has that like I just heard, that distinctive voice, and Miles Kennedy in Alter Bridge is just a great not only vocalist but guitar player in his own right. So I can see why Mark could be hesitant, like like what do I have to bring to the table? But I think, yeah, Tremonti is supremely talented, and on each release, he seems to be more comfortable. Is this my favorite Tremonti record? I don't know. I've enjoyed all of his solo work. Uh, I think I'm trying to remember which one is my favorite. I think they're his second and third, The Dust, and I can't remember now the other name, Dust and the other one. I really enjoyed those tracks, but I think this one is solid. I don't think he has a bad album in him. And between all his band, he's got 19 albums. So he's a very prolific, and you can tell that dude, Tremonti, when do you rest, man? You're always working. But the end will show us how. It's a great record, and I've been spinning it like on repeat. And every time I get, I love the solos that he brings, the musicianship, and the songwriting. I think the songwriting is getting tighter for him. And like I said, he's become a better vocalist. And yeah, this is just a great album that I haven't showed the album cover. So yeah, this is the album cover of the record, which is great as always. And yeah, when I see this album cover, yeah, it shows a lot of what this record is all about. So it's out today, January the 10th, on Napalm Records. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Tremonti? The end will show us how. I can see some people might be hesitant because they say like, oh, that's the guy from Creed. But you know what? He's a supremely talented guitar player and musician. And I think people should acknowledge more of his work because he's great. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It's an album that I think it has great replay value, and I will listen to it throughout the whole year. So who knows how I would think about it in December. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of this album? And if you like the video thumbnail, do not forget to give me a like and do not forget to subscribe. That helps me with the YouTube, algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.